Hello there, crafty friends. It's Alicia of the Call Me Crafty YouTube channel, and it's the 15th of October, which means it is time for another round of the Oh So Inspired collaboration. I hope you'll stick around, see what inspired us this month, and see what I make. Thank you so much for stopping by today. If this is your first time to my channel, I hope by the end of the video that you'll be inspired to click on that subscribe button below and maybe even tap on that little bell. If you're already a regular viewer and subscriber, thanks so much for stopping back by. As I mentioned in the intro, it is time for another Oh So Inspired collaboration. If you're new to Oh So Inspired, every month the team and I take one inspiration piece and we make a new project based upon that piece in some way. As you hop along to the other channels, you'll notice that each of us is probably making something completely different. Speaking of the other channels, everybody in the collaboration is linked below, so I hope that once you're done with my video, you'll go hop to those channels, watch their video, and leave them some love. For our inspiration piece this month, we are using a front flip fold card created by Cindy Brumbaugh. I have her tutorial video linked in the description box below if you want to check her original video out. And I'm also going to pop a picture of the card up on the screen now. For my card today, I'm going to basically use the same idea, the same layout, but I will be making a fall inspired card. The products you see in front of me here are mainly what I'll be using today, but if I do add anything later, I'll let you know what it is. For my papers, I'm going to be using the Spiced Pumpkin Hot Buy Pad from Michaels. This is one of their newer ones. My mom and I went there earlier today and we got this pad and then some cardstock to go with it. So I'm putting it to use right away, which I know my mom would like. I did already pre-select the papers I'm going to be using for the card. I have kind of an orange and brown stripe and then the pumpkin background. I picked out an orange cardstock for my card base, and then for my personal message inside and for where I stamp my image onto later, I have kind of an off-white or an ivory. I will be using for my image and my sentiment this fall stamp set. We got this at Joann over the weekend, and I'm going to be using this cute little truck here, and I'm going to put some pumpkins in the back, and then I haven't yet decided on this sentiment, so we'll see later what I pick. But this is one of the Ms. Sparkle & Company sets that you can buy at Joann. For the embossing powder on my image, I'm going to be using the Ranger Super Fine Detail Gold Embossing Powder. I'm hoping all together that these make a fun, cute fall card. Now, as soon as I do start the card process, I'll go to a voiceover and just kind of give you some details as I go. If you have a question that I do not answer in the voiceover, make sure to leave that in the description box below, and I'll get back to you just as soon as I can. Let's go ahead and make a card. Like with most of my projects, I'm going to start by doing most of the cutting, or as much of the cutting as I can. This orange piece I cut to 5.5 by 8.5, and I will end up folding that for my card base. The ivory cardstock, I cut a strip that was 2¼ inches wide, and then I cut this piece to 4 inches tall. The striped paper was also cut to 2¼ inches wide, and later you'll see me cut that down a little bit. The first cut I made on the pumpkin pattern paper was at 4 inches, and then I cut 2 strips that were 1 5/8 inches wide. Now I'm bringing back in that ivory cardstock, and I'm going to cut a piece that just fits nicely on the inside of my card. So this was cut to 5¼ inches wide by 4 inches tall, and then you'll see how each of those pumpkin papers will fit on the sides of this piece. For the next step in this project, I pulled out my We Are Memory Keepers trim and scoreboard, and I started by scoring this piece at 4¼ inches wide. Now the great thing about this board is after I score something, I can then use the trimmer blade that comes with it to make cuts. So what I did is I lined the edge of my card up on the 1.5 inch mark and cut up from the bottom until I hit the score line. And then I moved it down to the 4 inch mark and did the same thing. At this point, I could have used my trimmer for this step, but I decided to go ahead and just use my scissors to finish cutting off the front flaps on my card. To decorate the front flap of my card, I pulled out the striped paper that I was going to use, and then I got that stamp out just to see kind of how tall I wanted the striped paper. I then just kind of marked that real crudely with my finger, got my trimmer back out, and adhered that to that front flap. I did pretty much the same thing with the ivory piece that went on the top. And because where the two pieces meet will be covered up by my truck, it did not have to be perfect there where they joined up. The next thing I'm going to do is decorate the ivory cardstock that goes on the inside of my card. I adhered both of the pumpkin pattern pieces to the sides of this piece and then put that right inside the card. I do have to say, if I did this over, I would probably make those pumpkin strips 1.5 inches wide instead of 1 5/8. I think that would give me just a little bit more room to write my personal message. Please pardon the interruption. I just wanted to step into the video and say that if you would like to win this stamp set for yourself, to make sure to keep watching for this flash hidden giveaway. To finish the card, I will be doing the stamping of the focal point and the sentiment. I will be stamping all of these in Versamark ink and embossing with that gold embossing powder. Now, just to help the powder not stick where I don't want it to, I did use my embossing buddy there before I stamped my truck. Before I can add the embossing powder to the truck image, I do need to get my pumpkin stamped in the bed of the truck. Using a stamp positioner makes this super easy to do. I can line that up before I stamp it. I will go ahead and add the powder to my image now, but I will not heat set that until my sentiment is ready to be heat set as well. I ended up using the sentiment that says pumpkin kisses and harvest wishes, and I just kind of made sure that that would fit above where the truck goes later when I adhere it to my card. So just like the truck, I stamped it with Versamark and then added the gold embossing powder. Once this was done, I went ahead and heat set it with my heat tool. And like I say every time when I use embossing powder, I just love watching the magic happens when it turns from that powder into the finished product. To add a little color to my image, I pulled out my Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers, and I am using number 61 and number 50 to add a little orange to my pumpkins. I started by adding 61 to the outside edges of each of the pumpkin sections, and then I went back in with 50 and just kind of spread that color inward so there is a little bit of shading. While I am cutting out my truck, I thought I would tell you how you can win the stamp set for yourself. First of all, you do need to be a subscriber to my channel who is 18 years or older and lives in the United States. To enter the giveaway, I need you to give this video a thumbs up and then leave me a comment below letting me know your favorite season, and make sure to include the hashtag pumpkins so I know that you're interested in the giveaway. Now, I am going to make this a flash giveaway. It's going to go quicker than most of my giveaways. You will need to leave this comment by midnight on Friday, October 18th, 2019, and then I'm going to come back this weekend and announce the winner. Once I announce the winner, they will have 48 hours to contact me to claim the prize. So make sure that if you are going to enter, that you might want to have that notification clicked on so you know when I upload that announcement. Now, if the original winner doesn't contact me within the 48 hours, I will do one redraw. To finish up the card, I need to add my truck to that front flap. I am going to go ahead and use the edges of this Stampin' Up! Dimensionals just to add some dimension on the front of the card. And here's a look at the finished card. You'll see how that front flap will hide the personal message inside. I hope you liked that look at how I made my card for the October 2019 Oso inspired collaboration. If you did, as always, I appreciate a thumbs up. Don't forget when you're done with my video to click on all of the other collaborators linked in the description box below. Until my next video, I hope you're all having a crafty day. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch all the way to the end of the video. I hope that you'll consider clicking on one of the videos or playlists I have linked above, and if you're interested in any of the products or tools that I use in the video, I do have some links in the description box.